You know the feeling. We've all been there. You look down at your phone, and that battery, the one that used to last all day, no problem, is suddenly gasping for air before you've even had lunch. It's got to be one of the most universal frustrations of modern life. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain and figure out exactly why this is happening.
And this question from Reddit, it just perfectly captures the mystery we're solving today. It's a feeling we all know, but what is actually going on inside our phones? Seriously, where does all that power go?
First things first, it's not just in your head. Your battery's slow, sad decline is a very real physical process. It's just a natural part of your phone's life cycle, and understanding it is the first step to actually slowing it down. So is there a magic number here? Well, kinda. It's 500. Most smartphone batteries are designed for about 500 full charge cycles. Now, a cycle is just going from 100% all the way down to 0 and then back up again. For most of us, that works out to be about, 2 years of use? Sound familiar? And here's the kicker. After you hit that 500 cycle mark, give or take, your battery's maximum capacity permanently drops. It just can't hold as much juice as it did when it was brand new. That capacity loss, it's irreversible, and it's the real reason your 2-year-old phone is suddenly dying by 3 p.m. All right, so to really get why this happens, we need to go microscopic. We've got to look inside the battery itself. The whole secret is about chemistry. Your phone, my phone, pretty much every phone runs on a lithium-ion battery. And these things are an amazing piece of engineering. Their secret sauce is what we call high energy density. That's what lets our phones be so incredibly powerful, yet so thin. The whole magic trick boils down to these tiny little particles called lithium ions. So here's a fantastic way to think about it. Imagine the lithium ions are tiny little ships. When you're using your phone, scrolling, texting, whatever, these ships sail from one side, the cathode, to the other, the anode, and they release energy along the way. When you plug your phone into charge, you're just sending those ships back to their home port to get re-energized for the next trip. Seems simple enough, right? But here's the catch. After hundreds and hundreds of these little journeys back and forth, things, they start to break down. The whole system just gets less efficient, and the battery begins that slow, inevitable decline. And there are 4 main culprits to blame. First, some of our little lithium ships get trapped, kind of coated in chemical gunk, and they can't carry a charge anymore. Second, heat. Heat is a huge problem. It acts like an accelerator for all the bad chemical reactions that break down the battery's insides. Third, pushing the battery to its absolute limits, all the way to 0% or all the way to 100%. That creates a lot of stress. And finally, just plain old physical wear and tear. The parts themselves, the little docks where the ships park, they just wear out over time. Let's look a little closer at that voltage stress. You can think of your battery like a person. It doesn't like being completely exhausted at 0%, and it definitely doesn't like being over-caffeinated and wired at 100%. Its happy place, its sweet spot, is right there in the middle. Keeping it in that 20 to 80% zone puts the least amount of strain on all those internal parts. And then there's maybe the biggest enemy of all, heat. I mean, just look at this. Any activity that generates a lot of heat, like intense gaming or even something as simple as fast charging, is the quickest way to wear out your battery. That heat just speeds up all those nasty chemical reactions, basically aging your battery before it's time. Okay, so we know the problem and we know who the culprits are. But the good news is we are not powerless here. So let's get into some simple, practical habits that can make a huge difference. This breaks it down perfectly. Plugging your phone in overnight, that keeps it sitting in that high-stress 100% zone for hours on end. Instead, try using your phone's smart charging feature. Always reaching for that super fast charger? Well, that creates a ton of excess heat. Save it for when you're really in a rush. Even wireless charging, which is super convenient, I know, often generates more heat than just a simple cable. So let's just nail this down. Here are the 4 most powerful habits. Number 1, avoid extreme temperatures. Don't leave it in a hot car. 2, try to live in that 20 to 80% range. 3, use a slower charger when you can, especially overnight. And 4, just unplug your phone when it has enough juice. You don't always need to go to 100. And remember, this is about small changes, not being perfect. And that really is the key takeaway here. The best charging isn't about being fast or slow. It's about being smart. Modern phones have these really intelligent features like adaptive charging or optimized battery charging that are designed to do the hard work for you. They learn your habits and manage the charge to minimize all that stress. Now, taking care of our own phone is great, but these exact same principles apply on a much, much larger scale. So let's zoom out for a second. This isn't just about personal convenience. The health of these tiny little power sources has a massive global impact. Okay, now this number it's truly shocking. Even with billions of these lithium-ion batteries powering our lives, less than 5% of them are actually being recycled. The vast majority of them just end up in landfills.
So why does that matter so much? Well, for two huge reasons. First, recycling keeps toxic materials out of our soil and water. And second, it helps us recover precious, finite resources, like lithium itself. There's only so much of it on Earth, and we're going to need every bit we can get for our electrified future. So we're left with this question. By charging our devices more mindfully, we not only make them last longer, which is great, but we also reduce waste. Our small daily habits connect to a much, much bigger challenge. How do we build a sustainable relationship with the technology that literally powers our entire world? It's something to think about the next time you plug in your phone.